it is officially Season 10 in Diablo 4, and one of the biggest questions that I've noticed people still have is, what are Infernal Hordes? How do I get the compasses? Explain them to me, I don't understand them. So today, we're going to discuss what Infernal Hordes are, and everything you need to know to be successful on top of why you want to do them in the first place. First and foremost, the most important part, what exactly are Infernal Hordes? Infernal Hordes is a wave-based survival mode, almost like a bullet hell, that ends with a boss encounter. Now, before you get to Torment, so Torment 1 through 4, you're going to be doing what's called Fleeting Hordes, where you fight a 2-boss version of the Fel Council, which makes it a little bit easier. Once you get into Torment 1, 2, 3, and 4, you will get a choice between 2 different boss encounters. That includes Bartuc and the 3-boss Fel Council that we came to know and maybe not love in the previous seasons. You're going to be collecting a certain type of currency called Burning Aether throughout the different waves and encounters, which is a currency almost like in Helltides, where it is only temporary and it can only be used inside of Infernal Hordes to open the chests at the end, which I will discuss later. You can either run Infernal Hordes on your own solo or with a group, just like most of the other content inside of Diablo 4. To open Fleeting or Infernal Hordes, you are going to have to get your hands on some compasses that determine not only the number of waves that you get, but the number of revives that you have to make it to the end of the encounter. At the end of each wave, you will be given an Infernal Offer, which is basically like a boon and a bane, so a positive and a negative that affects the level entirely for the rest of the duration of the waves. You have to survive all the waves, collect Burning Aether, and stay under the allotted number of deaths so that you can actually make it to the boss encounter at the end and reap your rewards. If you fail and die too many times, basically you get nothing. It's a big F you. You get 0. You don't win. That's it. You will have to use a new Infernal Compass and start completely over and get no rewards for your endeavors. Season 10 has brought a different thing to Infernal Hordes, which is Chaos Waves. These are 4th offers with very random effects. They're extremely good for collecting Burning Aether, but you have absolutely no control as to what type of Chaos Wave you get, so please, choose wisely. If you do not think that you can handle the Chaos Wave encounter that you get, the negative effect, do not choose this boon and bane. I'm telling you, it will end poorly. Next up is how to actually get the Infernal Compasses to do the Infernal Hordes, which is a question I have been asked a lot, given the fact that back in the day, you used to be able to craft Infernal Compasses, and that is no longer the case. You will acquire a lot of these Infernal Compasses just from doing normal content, but of course you can use targeted methods that make it a lot easier, like the seasonal reputation caches, specifically the Greater Infernal Cache, which will give you Infernal Compasses. You can also get them in Nightmare Dungeons by closing those Chaos Rifts, same thing with Helltide chests and closing the Chaos Rifts in Helltides, and Whisper Caches with the Greater Collection of Dungeon Keys also has the opportunity to drop Infernal Compasses for you. There are now 4 different types of Infernal Compasses that you can get your hands on. First is the Fleeting Compass, which comes from normal through penitent difficulties only, so you will only see those before Torment 1. These compasses are extremely easy to get because they happen in the pre-Torment content. They cap at only 4 waves, and they only give you the 2-boss version of the Fel Council at the end. And after you defeat the Council, you will only have 2 choices. You will be able to get equipment, so 100 Burning Aether for a piece of gear, or Spoils of Experience with the remaining Aether. Let's say you had 150, you would then buy the gear for 100, and then the remaining 50 would go to the Spoils of Experience, which of course gives you experience. The Infernal Compasses for Torment 1 through 4 have Chaos Waves, and players can choose either the Fel Council or Bartuc at the end for their boss encounter. You will need at least 666 Burning Aether to enter Bartuc's chamber. So if you don't, you only can fight the Fel Council, and you will need to rerun the Infernal Horde if you want to attempt to get that 666 to get to the chamber. After you defeat the bosses in the encounter, you will then have the choice again between the Spoils of Greater Equipment, Spoils of Materials, or Spoils of Gold. You will not have these options pre-Torment, so these are only Torment 1 through 4 that you will have 3 different chests to get. Spoils of Greater Equipment, of course, gives you gear and equipment that is greater than the pre-Torment versions. Spoil of Materials will give you Abductite and Gem Fragments, which you can use the remaining amount of your Burning Aether to open that chest, and Spoils of Gold also uses your remaining Aether. The only one that has a set number is 400, which is the Spoils of Greater Equipment. So again, if you get 450 Burning Aether and you open the Spoils of Greater Equipment, you will need to choose between the Spoils of Materials or the Spoils of Gold to use use that remaining 50 Aether. Infernal Compasses have 3 different levels to them, the purple being 6 waves and having 1 Chaos Wave, the yellow having 8 waves and 1 Chaos Wave, and the Infernal Horde Compass that is orange is 10 waves and will give you 2 Chaos Waves throughout the encounter. Now, the higher number of waves, the more likely you are to reach that 666 burning Aether that you need to summon Bartuc, but the issue is that the more waves you get, the more difficult the encounter. 10 wave compasses are the easiest way to get into the chamber because of course you are going to have plenty of waves to collect as much Aether as possible. You are going to need a massive amount of damage and high skill if you really want to get through those 10 waves, and of course this is like true endgame content here, so be ready to test your luck. Infernal Horde waves are on a 60-second timer, so if you look at the top right of your screen next to your minimap, you are going to see the 60-second timer and the amount of burning Aether that you have, as well as the number of waves. We'll show you the current wave that you are on, so you can keep track of that very easily in the corner and see how much burning Aether you're earning throughout the encounter. Now, each wave only lasts 60 seconds. That means that you only have 60 seconds to kill every mob possible and as many as possible to get as much burning Aether in your pocket as you can. The faster you kill things, the faster you will get the big spawns for more burning Aether, such as the Soul Spires, Blisters, Masses, so you are going to want to kill everything as fast as humanly possible to get the most burning Aether out of your run. At the end of each wave, again, you will be getting these Infernal Offers. You will get 3 different choices, and again, they are a positive and a negative effect, and once you choose them, they apply for the rest of the encounter, so every remaining wave after you chose it. You can only choose 1 Infernal Offer per wave, and be very careful, because as you get to the higher waves in the higher difficulty levels, these could become the bane of your existence very easily. If you choose the wrong one, that could be the end of your run. You cannot go back once you choose them, so read them all very carefully, weigh the pros and cons, and make sure you make the right choice. Some of my absolute favorite Infernal offerings, of course, is the Aether Goblins. They are monsters that have a massive amount of health, but they can spawn Aether Goblins. These drop large amounts of Aether when killed. It's almost like a treasure goblin, but for burning Aether. Unlike other mobs, though, they persist even after the level ends, so you have an opportunity to kill them, if you didn't kill them during the encounter. The Exalted Hordes offering is also one of my favorite, just because while monster damage is increased, and that's the negative effect, Aether events spawn faster. So that's one, if I see it, I choose it immediately, because it gives me more Aether events in order to get my hands on as much as possible before I make it to the final boss encounter, and I go in with a decent amount in my pocket to get as many rewards as I can. So now, I want to discuss a little bit about the final boss options, right? So you have Bartuc or you have the Fel Council. Now, defeating Bartuc is awesome. You do need 666 burning Aether in order to do the encounter, so if you don't have that, you will not be able to use that choice. You will only be able to go up against the Fel Council, but this is why getting to that Bartuc encounter is so lucrative. He is guaranteed to drop at least 1 piece of Chaos Armor in Torment 3 and above, so 3 and 4, you have a guaranteed shot at getting that Chaos Armor, which is the new type of gear in Season 10. He also has a chance to drop 2, 3, or even 12 Chaos Armors, which is absolutely asinine in my opinion, but it's a great way to farm those early on, including in Torment 1. Now, in Torment 1 and 2, it is not a guaranteed drop, but honestly, the drop rate's pretty great. I've done it a few times, and I've gotten a couple of pieces myself from Torments 1 and 2, so while it's not guaranteed like it is in Torment 3 and 4, you still have a great chance at getting these amazing pieces of gear. Not only that, but Bartuc is the only way to get the unique Chaos perks that came with Season 10, so you have to do them if you want all of your Chaos perks for your different classes. You can farm them as early as Torment 1, and they do have a pretty decent drop rate. The issue is that you still need to get 666 burning Aether, which can be quite a task. Which brings me to my next and final point. Why even do Infernal Hordes? What is the point of doing them at all? So in Season 10, Infernal Hordes are the best way to get your hands on that Chaos Armor, like we just discussed with the Bartuc encounter. You also have to kill Bartuc in order to get the unique Chaos perks, which we discussed in the previous section as well. The other reason is that it is extremely lucrative for Abductite, which is used for masterworking, and of course it is great for gem fragments for creating the higher level gems, and of course potions or incense if you do use those as well. Not only that, but honestly, they're pretty fun, and I do enjoy the encounters in general, outside of just getting the gear and different sources of materials and things like that. I do actually enjoy Infernal Hordes, and I think that they are a very fun part of Diablo 4, and I hope that they keep them around for a while. Hopefully, they change them up a little bit and add more, just like they did for Season 10. But farming Infernal Hordes is one of the best ways to not only get your hands on the new Chaos gear, the only way to get your hands on the unique Chaos powers, but they do have the opportunity to grant you a lot of experience, get you geared up, and ready for even tougher fights. That's going to do it for this guide on Infernal Hordes in Diablo 4 Season 10. I hope that this was helpful to you. If it was, drop a comment below. If it wasn't, let me know what I could have added that might still confuse you, and I can make another video on it. As always, if you like the video, then like the video. And if you like my content in general, then please subscribe to my channel, because it means the absolute world to me. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!